Okay, Violet, thank you very much. It's very, very nice to meet you, too. Well, good afternoon to everybody. So this is Hadley, Massachusetts. So far, it's pretty snazzy. I went over the Calvin Coolidge Bridge. I remember who Calvin Coolidge was. It's very nice. Temperatures to 81 degrees in here. Not in here, it's beautiful in here, but outside. And you've got some sort of a farm over there. What kind of a crop is the farmer growing over there?
It could be corn or potatoes, squash.
Squash? I thought it was squash.
This is a farming community.
Well, there you go.
The asparagus capital of the world.
Asparagus. Well, I'm going to shift gears now. And I'm going to talk about silent movies. But no, I'm not going to talk about silent movies. I'm going to talk about the precursors to silent movies and who invented the motion picture camera in 1894. Thomas Edison, yes. But he just didn't create it out of a vacuum. He saw other examples of animation devices. And I've got some examples of a really cute one, and it's called a praxinoscope. And can I show it to you?
Sure.
I have 3, and I actually make kits, and this is a kit that isn't painted. And this one is pretty good. It kind of looks like a bumblebee from far away, yellow and black. So it's really simple, and yet it is quite whimsical. It has 12 mirrors on the inside, and it's got a strip of frames, okay, pictures of a horse galloping. So there's 12 of them. If you spin it and you look at the pictures, it's going to be a blur. No good. Humans cannot see that. In fact, animals can't see that either. But if you look at the mirrors, as one mirror goes away and another mirror comes in, it slows down the motion. Even though it's whirring along on the outside, you can actually see motion. You can see the animation. So we have a choice. We can go forwards or backwards with the horse. So let me show you here. Look in the mirrors.
Oh my gosh, you can see it run.
You can see it run. Yeah. So I'm going to hand that to you, and then you can hold it on the base, okay, and then spin it, and then you can hand it off to the ladies in the peanut gallery. And then I've got another one for you people. That's the horse. This is Gertie the dinosaur. So you can take a look at that and then pass it off to those people there. Actually, we've got another one here. So you can take this. If you would take that, thank you. I'm on a short leash here. And then you spin it, and you can give it to those people. Well, this is good. Looks like everybody's going to be taken off with those things. So I make kits, I design those. I work at a makerspace in Worcester, Massachusetts. And they have a laser machine there. And I have been making design after design after design, making those. And finally, I think I've got it down. So at some point, I'm going to be selling those. So if anybody's interested, just let me know and I'll give you a card and we can talk further about it.
What's the name of it again?
Pardon me?
What's the name of the device?
Well, originally it was called a praxinoscope, but I call it whimsical animations. A little bit updated. All right. So we got through the first part. The second part is I've got some sound effects here, and I'm hoping partway through the program that there'll be some volunteers. I want you to all act like kids this afternoon. Yes, I volunteer. To synchronize an animation device for a movie where the girl gets tied to the railroad tracks by the mustachioed villain. I don't know if anybody's heard a reference to that. Yeah, okay. Well, I've got it here today. So that's something to look forward to. Now, on with silent movies in America. And I'm wondering if one of you ladies in the peanut gallery can take the middle light switch and turn it off. Thank you. Well, silent movies became in existence in 1894 when Thomas Edison invented the motion picture camera. But they really didn't get started until about 1903 when the Nickelodeon Theater appeared. And within 3 years, there were thousands of them all over the country. Now there was a mad dash for more films, more and more and more movies. And it only cost a nickel to go. And then everything changed in 1929 when talking films started to come into favor. And people sort of grew tired of these silent films. So here's some film footage of the early 1900s of a big city. Boy, it looks congested. It looked congested in Hadley, too, when I came here. So I'm going to show you an international newsreel of the women suffragettes fighting for the right to vote. You know, everybody had candlestick telephones back then, and they didn't take care of them. So it was a cartoon that told people how to take care of their candlestick telephone. And then careers for girls. Women were actually getting careers back then, which was something very unusual. And here they were trying to get them interested in becoming seamstresses. The perils of Pauline. Something's wrong with her hot air balloon and she's escaping. Oh, now I'm really excited to show you this film clip of Fatty Roscoe Arbuckle. And you know, he was number 2. Right behind Charlie Chaplin, who was number 1. And I just wanted to show you, there it is. There's his artistry. See, I told you. Next, you might, if you're squeamish, you might want to blind your eyes here. This is called Nosferatu. In 1922, that scared a lot of people. Well, if you lived in the city, you'd get to the movie theater by way of streetcar, but if you lived in the countryside, you'd get there by way of horse and buggy, or maybe you would just walk. But you needed 2 things to go to the silent films back then. You needed a hat. You see, everybody wore a hat back then, and you needed 5 cents, only 5 cents to get into the movies. And then, when you got inside the movie theater, you had to take your hat off. Otherwise, people couldn't see who were behind you. And ladies were particular problems back then, I guess. So there was a glass slide that was put up and said, "Ladies will please remove their hats." Well, it didn't make matters any better when there were glass slides advertising hats for ladies to buy them so they could probably go to the movie theater and bother other people. But those are the times back then. And it really shows. I mean, look at those young ladies all dressed up in their Easter outfits. Now, coming attractions. Who was popular back then? Well, you had Buster Keaton in his pork pie hat. You had Marion Davies and William Haynes and Show People. And who was that? Yeah, everybody knows him. And this guy was Harold Lloyd with his straw hat and his horn-rimmed glasses. And who's that? Well, that's the mustachioed villain who decided that he was going to tie Mabel to the railroad tracks. We'll find out more about him in just a minute. You know, when you went to the movie Palace back then, first of all, it cost 75 cents. That was a lot of money. But that's what the lobby looked like on the inside. And then, of course, when you got inside where the theater was, look at all those seats. It was really ornate. And then there was an orchestra that sat in the orchestra pit, and on the weekends they would accompany a movie. But during the week, the mighty Wurlitzer organ with the organ pipes in the wall created a thundering sound, and it did very well during the week. Of course, if you didn't have 75 cents, no problem. You could go to a Nickelodeon theater, and well, that's another picture of what it looked like on the inside. If I had lived back then, I would be accompanying films on a piano at a Nickelodeon theater. Well, this gentleman right here was my mentor, although I never met him. His name was Erna Rapé, and he was one of 4 conductors at the Roxy Movie Theater in 1924. And he came from Hungary. He knew a tremendous amount about classical music, and he would pair up the classical music with, at the appropriate time for silent films. And he decided that he would write a book called Motion Picture Moods for piano players and organists like myself who didn't have the advantages that he had back then. And I found out about that book, and I immediately purchased a copy of it. And it's really terrific. 600 pages of mood music, he called it. And all of these titles on the left, on the margin, are the different moods, like happiness, love themes, and chase scenes, you never know when you're going to need, funeral music. So I practiced a lot of music. It took me a long time to learn quite a number of pieces there, and I really wanted to do a good job. I held off before starting to accompany films before groups of people, and I'm so glad that I did because I had heard about somebody who didn't do a good job. I certainly didn't want that to happen to me. Well, here's some film footage from around, I'd say around 1903, very early 1900s, Coney Island film shots, and the photographer set the camera up right on the beach, right on his tripod on the beach, and he filmed some teenagers having some fun. There was a ride at Coney Island. It was called the Steeplechase, and everybody loved it. The girls loved it because it gave them a chance to be hugged by the boys, and the boys didn't mind that either. It gave them a chance to hug the girls. This last one looked like a lot of fun. There's just no way that you could hang on. Eventually, the centripetal force would just pull you away. Well, I wanted to show you this. I call it the steeple jack. And this lady got into an apparatus, and her job was to paint a chimney. And she was so clean and neat and fastidious, okay? And she even had time to have lunch. Cute. Oh, now talking about weird, don't blink. This is not very long at all. It's called the boxing cats. A weird mind came up with that one. Now, this guy, this is kind of interesting, but you wouldn't catch me doing that. Some sort of a high wire act. Oh, here we are. Here's the segment of the program where the girl gets tied to the railroad tracks. Barney Oldfield, well, let me ask you this question. Who was Barney Oldfield? He was a race car driver, yes. And you're going to see Barney Oldfield help Mabel's boyfriend. Well, we're just going to unspool it. But we've got a locomotive, and we've got Barney Oldfield's car. And he's going to be racing to see if he can get ahead of the locomotive. So I've got some animation devices here. For the locomotive, this is how I wash my clothes, so I just took it along with me, a washboard. My grandmother, by the way, did come from Sweden, and she said that she used a rock to wash her clothes. We have come quite a ways. Anyways, here we are, an old washboard, and it works like this. I've got a drummer's brush. Who would like to give this a try? Over here. Okay. Are you right-handed, sir?
Yes.
Okay. I never get confused about that.
Well, kind of ambidextrous.
Oh, okay. So you just hold it like that, okay? And grip it hard and go. Perfect. That's great. When you see the locomotive, just keep doing that.
Okay, am I in the union?
Now, I'm going to have trouble with this guy. This is a train whistle, and I'm not going to blow it because of, germs and all that sort of stuff. But when I got a cap that I cleaned. So, you blow on this whistle, just like you blow on any whistle. Any volunteers? Yay! They're not coming too fast here. Now, put your lips on that one, press and blow. That's good. A little more oomph. Perfect. So when you see the locomotive, okay, just keep blowing it until you run out of breath. I know you've got the hot air. Oh, I just want to demonstrate this. I'm not going to use it, but what is this? It's a slapstick. Yeah, going back to the vaudeville days, you know, where somebody slips on a banana and he falls and... Okay. So when the mustachioed villain has got a sledgehammer and he's driving the stake in the ground to tie the girl to the railroad tracks, you go and you just time the hits. Who's going to do this? Okay. Are you right-handed?
Yes.
Okay. And you can hold it like there because you get more of a good sound. Yeah. Perfect. So just time it with when he drives the stake in. Perfect. Okay. Don't jump. You want to blow the
I've been waiting for that one.
the ooga horn, right? You have to say ooga. All right. So when the car takes off, just blow the horn and just keep blowing it. Every time you see the car.
Okay.
Give it a try. A natural. Okay, so this is a clacker, like for like a dilapidated automobile or whatever. And you just turn that when you see the automobile take off. Any takers? Okay. This one got coaxed into it. Perfect. When you see the automobile, just keep turning it.
What kind of an automobile makes a noise like that? That's not familiar.
Yeah.
A wreck?
Let's just, we kind of have to go with it. Okay. So that's the sound effects that I have here for this movie, so we're all set. Sweet Mabel just got a boyfriend, and she's happy. But then the mustachio villain, he gets jealous, and he tries to steal her away. And then, boom, she gives him a backhander, and he falls over. You think that would be the end of it. No, he grabs her and ties her to the railroad tracks. So what's going to happen? He commandeers the locomotive, and he's steaming down the railroad. I mean, this guy's cuckoo. All right, everybody, places. Automobile. Boy. All right, so here we have it in slow motion. Boy, oh boy, the timing of those actors. Well, not really, not really, because the cameraman took film footage of the locomotive and then projected it on the back of the screen, rear screen projection, and then the actors got in front of the screen, and then he took the camera shots after that. So it was done in 2 parts, but still, it was really quite precise for 1913. All right, can I trust you with those sound effects? All right, all right. Actually, if you want to, you can use them throughout the rest of the film clips. You use your poetic license, I guess. Okay, next we have Harold Lloyd. And he was so popular in the 1920s. He was in a movie called Hot Water. And that's because his mother-in-law and the rest of the in-laws visited on the day he was expecting the arrival of his brand new automobile. All he wanted to do was go for a nice little ride with his wife, but everybody came along and he got distracted, and something happened to his automobile in the intersection, busy intersection, and it stalled out. And the cop said, "Get that car out of here." And Harold, okay, he did. So he got out and he started pushing the car, but he didn't realize he was pushing it like down a hill. So we're going to pick up there. That was Harold Lloyd. Next, I've got one sound effect. It's a triangle. It's an orchestra triangle, and it sounds like this. Very, very pretty. And I've got a piece that I want to play as you watch Japanese acrobats in 1904. And the piece that I'm going to play is called Fujiko, a Japanese intermezzo. And all you have to do is just keep time with me. So you just go. Who's up for this? Somebody fresh. Okay. No, I don't want you to be fresh. A new person. Are you right-handed?
Yes.
Okay, so you hold that with your right hand and hold that with your left hand. So, yeah,
Which is the best place to hit it? Oh, it doesn't.
right here. And you don't go like that, you go, I'm sorry. Or you can go like this. Okay, so you're going to keep time with me. So the piece is, it goes like this. Da ba da ba da ba da ba da 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 da. That's it. Okay. This is the most fun of the part of the program for me. Okay, so here we go with these incredibly talented Japanese acrobats of 1904. Well, let's see what else we have here. The Great Train Robbery. This is the movie that put the Nickelodeon theaters on the map. And one of the reasons is that there were a lot of train robberies back then. The chances of you being robbed by taking a train ride, even out of New York City through New Jersey, which was probably wild country back then, they were pretty high. So people were interested. Here's a movie about train robberies, and they were going to go see it. And it only cost a nickel. And they heard about them through the newspapers, or maybe they experienced them themselves, or heard them from friends or relatives. So that's why it was so popular. And Edwin Porter actually edited this film in 11 setups. So this is the first edited film. Okay. Next is Winsor McKay, and I call him an elegant cartoonist in 1914. And he did cartoon strips for the New York Herald, and it was called Little Nemo, and there's one of the strips. And then this is the first cartoon that he made, and it was in color, and it took him forever to make it. It was just one drawing after another. But you notice that it was so smooth, so smooth. And one of the very, very first clips. It's amazing. You give somebody a sound effect, and they're going to use it. And he made another cartoon called Gertie the Dinosaur. So I just want to show you just a little bit of this. This was very, very smooth, too. So he made a contribution back then for sure. Now,
4,000, does that say that was 4,000 drawings?
he made 4,000 drawings. Now that wasn't the complete cartoon. I just showed you a few seconds of it. But 4,000 drawings, boy, that kept him busy for a long time. Slapstick comedy, anything for a laugh. I want to show you Max Sennett's cyclorama. And basically he got the idea for his cyclorama from the merry-go-rounds, okay? And then he put actors on this platter, and then he shot some films this way. So that was a technique that was developed, and you are actually going to see the cyclorama in use in this next film with Marion Davies and William Haynes. And let's see, it's called Show People, and it was a spoof on Hollywood filmmaking, silent movie filmmaking. So you're going to see the section that she just filmed, and it was being screened at one of the popular movie theaters in Hollywood, and she's a little bit nervous about how things are going to turn out, but I thought it was very amusing. Well, this guy, Charlie Chaplin, really doesn't need any introduction. Everybody's heard of Charlie Chaplin, and I think that he'll live on in history for hundreds, thousands of years. Thank goodness there was film footage of him, because he was very, very unique. He was the greatest pantomime artist who ever lived. And in 1913, he got his start in film. He was over in this country doing a play, traveling the country, And Mack Sennett heard about him, and he needed somebody in films, and he asked if Charlie Chaplin would come out to California. So he did, and his first film was kind of ho-hum, and Mack Sennett told him, go into the wardrobe and put on something funny. And that's where he put on his little tramp character. And when he put that on and started clowning around, instantaneously, everybody just fell over with amusement and laughter. And Chaplin, it just opened him up completely to be able to do anything, to play any kind of a role in his little tramp character. So here's one here. The movie is called A Dog's Life, and you can see Charlie doesn't even have a park bench to sleep on, but things are looking up. He befriends a dog called Scraps, and together they become inseparable. So let's see what type of mischief they get into. Of course, they're always hungry, looking for something to eat. Well, no silent movie program is complete without showing a couple of clips from Charlie Chaplin in The Gold Rush, and he plays the role of the lonely prospector. And so, you know, the Gold Rush was in 1895, and it was along the Klondike Trail in Canada, and so that's what Charlie is involved with. Here he is starting out. Well, you know, a storm comes up and Charlie needs a place to go, and he finds this, what he thinks is a vacant cabin. Well, things are starting to look pretty good, except they're hungry. They need more food. So all that Charlie has is his shoe to offer for Thanksgiving dinner. next is Buster Keaton, the king of sight gags. Now, does everybody know what a sight gag is? Oh, well, rather than have me explain it to you, why don't I show you? Now you see Buster, he's talking to somebody, he's sitting on a 2x4, and he's got a saw on the 2x4, and it kind of looks like he's going to saw through the 2x4, but maybe he's going to fall. I mean, that doesn't look right. That's a sight gag. And all of Buster Keaton's films were just filled, chock full of sight gags like that. So I've got a movie that I'd like to show you. It was called 1 Week. He had 1 week to build a house. Had just gotten married, and his Uncle Mike gave him a house. But it was a Sears and Roebuck house, and he had to put it together. So it's kind of interesting how this house went together. Okay, one more thing that you have to know. Chase scenes. Here's a great example of a chase scene. And of course, Buster Keaton stars in this. And he got involved with a policeman's parade. All because his girlfriend wanted him to make it big in business. So he decided he was going to buy a horse and a cart, and he was going to go into the livery business. He was going to move furniture around. But he made a wrong turn and upset a lot of cops. So this is from a movie called Cops.